Hi, I'm Jenny Miller, Preserve and Education Manager at the Nature Conservancy's Brownsville Preserve. Today we're going to talk all about pollination. Without pollination, our terrestrial ecosystems that are all around us would not be here. Almost all plants need to be pollinated, whether it be by wind, water, or animal pollinators. Around 80% of the crops that we eat require pollinators. But that's not the only reason that it's important. Plants aren't just important as a source of food for animals. They also help purify our air, produce oxygen for us to breathe, clean our waterways, and prevent soil from eroding. Every year on the eastern shore of Virginia, we can see pollination in action. We have lots of local examples of plants that use wind, water, and animal pollinators to grow and thrive. Let's take a look at some. Some of our earliest pollination events start in April with our pine trees. Pine trees in our area, like loblolly pines, don't produce flowers and are known as gymnosperms, but they have male and female cones. We can see clouds of wind-blown pollen from male cones being carried around to other loblolly pines near and far. The yellow pollen coats our cars, driveways, and pools up in a puddle after a good rainstorm. Once the pollen hits the female cone, it is fertilized and eventually turns into a pine cone which has seeds. You typically don't see the seeds within the cone, but you can find evidence of animals like squirrels and some birds eating them. At about the same time of year, one of our other important plants is being pollinated only underwater. Eel grass that grows in the Chesapeake Bay and our seaside bays flowers in April and is pollinated by water. Currents carry pollen through the water from plant to plant. In mid to late May, seeds are visible. Eventually, the part of the plant containing the seeds breaks off and floats away, releasing the seeds where new plants can start growing. At the Virginia Coast Reserve, we have helped restore eelgrass in our seaside bays from hardly anything to over 9,000 acres. The most common type of pollination requires an animal pollinator visiting a flowering plant or angiosperm. Flowers come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, and scents. Pollinators visit flowers to get nectar, a sugary food source. While the pollinator is drinking up nectar, they collect pollen on their head, legs, and any part of the body that touches the anther. The pollinator then visits another flower for more nectar, and the pollen from previous flowers sticks to the pistil. The pollen then travels down to the ovary, fertilizing the ovary, which makes the seed. In some cases, the ovary gets bigger and becomes a fruit protecting the seed. We have a lot of examples in our backyard of this kind of pollination. Some local plants that produce fruit are black cherry, blackberry, and wild blueberry. Other animals, like birds, raccoons, and possums, then eat the fruit and carry the seed to other areas, helping to spread the plant. Flowering plants that don't produce fruit are spread in other ways. Some plants have seeds that are carried by wind, like dandelions, attached to the fur of animals, like sandburrs, or are eaten by animals, like purple coneflower seeds. We have all probably seen whirlybirds and dandelion seeds blowing around, or walked through tall grasses and had to pull the seeds off our coats and pants afterwards, or watched birds eat seeds from flowers in a meadow. Here's an activity to try at home. Find two different kinds of flowers, whether it be two different colors, two different shapes, two different sizes. Like behind me, I have some yellow flowers, as well as a purple flower. Once you've found your two different flowers, just sit and observe them for about 5 minutes or so and count up how many different bees and butterflies and flies and other pollinators might visit each flower. After the 5 minutes is up, take a tally. Which flower had more visitors? Was there one flower that had more bees visiting and another that didn't have as many bees? Maybe there's a reason. Maybe they have different preferences. If you didn't see any pollinators at all, why do you think that might be? Do you think it makes a difference if you come out first thing in the morning to check on your flowering plants versus in the midday when the sun's really high and it's nice and warm? Or maybe on a really windy day versus a nice rainy day? There's lots of different reasons why we might see pollinators and not see pollinators. Things to think about and observations you can make right in your own backyard.